Floyd Mayweather's 15 best knockouts and performances ranked. Floyd Mayweather. He might be the most discussed name in boxing history, and at the end of the day, what is the name of the game? To hit and don't get hit. And there was no one better at the game of boxing than Floyd Mayweather. In this video, we look back at the 15 best performances and knockouts in the career of Floyd Mayweather. First off are the honorable mentions. Number 15. Miguel Cotto. Unanimous decision. This one was entertaining. Cotto is one of the most well-respected warriors in boxing history, and he gave Mayweather everything he had. It is not Mayweather's cleanest victory, but a testament to his ability to overcome adversity. Number 14. Zab Judah. Unanimous decision. A pretty bizarre night for boxing. Most people remember this fight for the wrong reasons, but if we are trying to stay focused on the sport of boxing, this was a fight of adjustments for Mayweather. Judah was as skilled of an opponent as Mayweather would probably face. After a few competitive opening rounds, Floyd adapted and edged out Judah in a somewhat close fight. Number 13. Sharmba Mitchell. Technical knockout in round 6. Mayweather won every round of the fight. He scored a knockout with a great body shot, and perhaps the most impressive part was that he was competing with some high standards he had already set for himself. This fight followed his brilliant outing against Arturo Gatti, and Floyd followed up what was his best performance yet with another great show stoppage over Mitchell. Number 12. Marcos Maidana 2. Unanimous decision. Much like the Jose Luis Castillo matchup, it was important for Mayweather to solidify himself as the superior boxer in the rematch. Unfortunately, most people remember this fight for its bizarre moment in the back half of the fight where Mayweather claimed that Maidana bit his glove. When it comes to the actual X's and O's, Mayweather cleaned up all the complications he had faced in their first meeting. Number 11. Shane Mosley. Unanimous decision. For so many people, the appeal to watch Mayweather was to see him lose. It is the motto that made him so much money, and to be honest, it worked. So when Mosley clipped Mayweather, there were a lot of people who got very excited. After all, it was one of the hardest shots Mayweather probably ate in his life. With the hit coming so early in the bout, a lot of people thought this was their chance to see Superman bleed. But Mayweather shut it down. He dominated the remainder of the fight, and the judges' scorecards reflected exactly that. Here comes the best of the best. Number 10. Manny Pacquiao. Where? MGM Grand Garden Arena, Las Vegas. When? May 2nd, 2015. Purse, $250 million. This fight should have happened 8 years earlier. Yes, I know. Everyone knows. But let's take a step back for a second. Mayweather fought Pac in May of 2015. 4 years later, Pacquiao still holds titles in the welterweight division. So if you want to credit Manny for extending his career, it means you must also award credit to Mayweather for cruising through their 2015 matchup. Like every other Mayweather fight, it went as Floyd wanted it to go. He controlled the pace and he controlled the range. It's what he does best. The big takeaway from this matchup was the financial dynamic. Mayweather earned roughly $250 million in total from the bout. That's why they call him Money. Number 9. Jose Luis Castillo 2. Where? Mandalay Bay, Las Vegas. When? December 7th, 2002. Purse? $2.4 million. This was a big fight for Mayweather. Many people consider the first bout between this duo to be the closest call of Mayweather's illustrious career. Credit needs to be given to Castillo for being a difficult puzzle for Mayweather to solve. In their rematch, Floyd proved to be the better fighter. It was a much more decisive victory for Floyd, quieting a lot of doubters who made a lot of noise following the first bout. Number 8. Jesus Chavez. Where? Bill Graham Civic Auditorium, San Francisco. When? November 10th, 2001. Purse? $1.6 million. This one dates all the way back to 2001. So before the fancy cars and incredible jewelry collection, Mayweather was a hungry scrapper. He took on Jesus Chavez in his final fight at super featherweight. He had his uncle, Roger Mayweather, as his trainer for this fight. The truth is that this was Boxing 101. and like most of Mayweather's fights, it is less to do with competition and more so to do with the incredible skill set of Mayweather. This would be a great bout to watch for people who don't understand why he is so good. Number 7. Juan Manuel Marquez. Where? MGM Grand, Las Vegas. When? September 19th, 2009. Purse? $10 million plus pay-per-view percentage. Towards the end of his career, it was clear that Floyd had taken a different approach to boxing. Instead of dictating the pace of the fight, he would transform into one of the best counter-punchers in the history of the sport. He would let other fighters try to close the distance, and when they became frustrated, he would capitalize on their mistakes. Mayweather abused the Philly shell stance in this fight. He landed an incredible knockdown in round 2 with a wicked fast left hook. Juan Manuel Marquez gave Manny Pacquiao a lot of trouble in his career. He is also the mastermind behind one of the meanest knockouts in the history of boxing. So for Mayweather to secure a unanimous decision over Marquez is a rather impressive feat. Number 6. Emmanuel Augustus. Where? Cabo Hall, Detroit. When? October 21st, 2000. Purse? $250,000. Floyd has mentioned on numerous occasions that Augustus was one of his tougher opponents. There is the old saying, styles make fights, and man oh man did Augustus have style. Known as the Drunken Master, Augustus had flair, but Mayweather provided some sobriety to Augustus. During the 9th round of the bout, Mayweather poured it on. He doesn't make mistakes. Even in the face of a wild opponent, Mayweather remained sharp. The towel was thrown in, and Mayweather celebrated the impressive win accordingly. Number 5. Ricky Hatton. Where? MGM Grand Arena, Las Vegas. When? December 8th, 2007. Purse? Around $25 million. When Mayweather met with Hatton in the ring, there was more than just that single fight on the line. In boxing, the undefeated record is revered. And at times, it is probably to a fault. So many fighters and promoters act in fear of losing their undefeated record. In doing so, they may not aggressively pursue tough matchups. A lot of UFC and MMA fans will claim this is what separates their sport from boxing. But when you ultimately do get the big matchups, it makes the build-up worth it. Take Mayweather versus Hatton, for example. When the two undefeated giants faced each other, it felt fulfilling. This was a fight that happened at the right place at the right time. And Mayweather delivered on one of his best performances of his career. In every single facet of the fight, he was the better man. When Floyd's name is brought up in the GOAT discussion, this is a fight that stands high on his resume. Number 4. Genaro Hernandez. Where? Hilton, Las Vegas. When? October 3rd, 1998. Purse? $150,000 according to the LA Times. Pretty Boy Floyd was just 21 freaking years old. This was less than 2 years into his professional career, and Mayweather dominated the number 1 ranked fighter in the division at that time. Mayweather took on Genaro Hernandez in October of 1998. This fight looked different than most Mayweather fights. To negate the speed advantage for Mayweather, Hernandez tried to make things remarkably physical. Early in the fight, he stepped on the foot of Mayweather, sending Floyd to the canvas. The tactics seemed to work briefly for Hernandez, as Mayweather, at times, got caught up in the wrestling match. But as time went on, Mayweather asserted himself. The jab was electric. The straight right hand was impeccable. In round 7, Mayweather had his way. It seemed as if he had landed a dozen uppercuts in that round. Hernandez's corner stopped the fight after the 8th round. It was a fight that gave us a look into the future. Number 3. Canelo Alvarez. Where? MGM Grand Garden Arena, Las Vegas. When? September 14th, 2013. Purse? $41.5 million. Listen, I've made the argument. I've asked the questions. When Floyd took on Canelo, it was at the perfect time. Canelo was just about to make his rise in the ranks, and seeing what we see in him now, it makes sense why people say Floyd took him on while he was young. But if you want to put that much respect on Canelo's name, then you need to have admiration for the lesson that Mayweather gave him. Alvarez had no answers for Floyd. At every moment, Mayweather was out of distance, predicting Alvarez's next move or just landing shots before Canelo. The fight may not have the same level of highlight material, but it still remains one of Mayweather's most incredible performances. In my opinion, he is not given enough credit for this one. Number 2. Diego Corrales. Where? MGM Grand Garden Arena, Las Vegas. When? January 20th, 2001. Purse? $1.7 million. You would be hard-pressed to find any boxers that embody the fighting spirit more than Diego Corrales. He is responsible for one of the most improbable wins and comebacks in the history of the sport. When you consider the heart that Corrales had, it makes this performance for Mayweather even more impressive. Over the course of the fight, Mayweather scored 5 knockdowns. Even when Corrales' corner threw in the towel, he was angry that he couldn't continue. Number 1. Arturo Gatti. Where? Boardwalk Hall, Atlantic City. When? June 25th, 2005. Purse? $3.2 million. I think that this is the greatest show that Mayweather ever put on. And when you consider the competition, it solidifies its ranking. Arturo Gatti is a world champion, a member of the Boxing Hall of Fame, and one of the most admired legends in the history of the sport. With all of that laid out, Mayweather gave him the business that night. When Gatti thought Mayweather was attacking the head, Floyd would go to the body. And when Gatti protected his body, Mayweather landed shots upstairs. There is a terrific moment in the fight where Mayweather lands 4 consecutive straight right hands. Gotti's corner had no choice but to throw in the towel halfway through the fight. Fight of the century between Mayweather and Pacquiao. Every hook is worth its weight in gold. A boxing match took place in Las Vegas, which the press dubbed the fight of the century. American Floyd Mayweather, who has never lost in 19 years of his career, and Filipino Manny Pacquiao entered the ring. He just became famous for defeating the Invincible. That night, 3 championship titles were at stake at once, 2 Mayweather and 1 Pacquiao. It is not surprising that boxers' fees and ticket prices soared to sky-high levels. This was the most expensive boxing match in the history of mankind. It was not for nothing that Floyd Mayweather flaunted gold trinkets and bundles of banknotes before entering the ring. After winning in Las Vegas, he became $120 million richer. Here, every hook is worth its weight in gold. Literally. Viewers in the front rows paid a 6-figure sum for viewing. The cost of tickets went off scale for $150,000. This fight was called the most anticipated in the history of boxing even before it began. Mayweather has never lost in his 19-year career. However, Manny Pacquiao in the past won against such invincible. He won fights with Oscar de la Hoya, Juan Marquez, and many others. Pacquiao is the first world champion in all 8 weight categories. The confrontation is actually between Mayweather, who is a symbol of America and even has the nickname Money, and a simple boy from the outback, Manny Pacquiao, which cannot help but arouse sympathy. I know that most of Russia is rooting for Manny, said Vladimir Krynov. It became an unprecedented case. Tickets this time were sold not only for the fight, but even for the boxing weigh-in ceremony. Admission was $10. It's usually free, but the influx of fans is also unprecedented. Almost 200,200 people came to watch the fight in Las Vegas, and millions more watched the broadcast. For the first time since 300, it was hosted by 2 channels at once, NBO and Showtime. Together, they managed to raise millions of dollars in subscriptions. This is definitely the most expensive tournament. Firstly, these are the fees of athletes, which are likely to exceed $200 million. Secondly, these are sales on paid broadcasts because applications have already been received for close to $4 million. "If you believe the promoters, it will be just an absolute record," said Andrei Bazdrev, producer of the sports TV channel. However, for Mayweather, the current fee will not be a record. Back in 2013, he received $152 million for the fight with Canelo Alvarez. It is not for nothing that Mayweather is called Manny, that is, money. Several times in his career, he set not only boxing, but also fee records. This time, Manny had to knock out his money throughout all 12 rounds. He was awarded the victory on points, and not all spectators agreed with it. It seems that Pacquiao will not have a chance for revenge. Even before the fight, Mayweather said that he would end his sports career in September at the latest. After all, he is already 38 years old, half of which he spent in the ring, never having lost.